Hi everyone. So we're on to Module 9 where we will continue with the mobile environment. Now what we're going to do this week is we're going to actually build off of your main assignment from Module 8. And at the end of Module 9 you're actually going to have a prototype for an iPhone app. Now I know this might seem a bit ambitious, but don't worry, this is not going to be a working prototype on the phone, so there's no coding involved. This is actually just going to be a concept or a design prototype, if you will. Now, I got a couple of housekeeping announcements, and the most important one is about the assignments for Module 9. So I know that I've already said this, or at least written this in 2 or 3 different places, but I just want to make sure that everyone gets this information. So there are 2 assignments for Module 9. Now you must submit the first one and receive my feedback and approval before moving on to the second assignment. So the first assignment is going to be due by 8 p.m. this Thursday, July 19th. I will have comments back to you by 8 a.m. on Friday, the next day, which is July 20th. Now, you'll have until 6 a.m. on Wednesday, July 25th to submit that second assignment. And I think once you're done watching this video, you'll see why we're structuring the assignments this way, why I want to give feedback on the first assignment before you move on to the second one. Now, in an effort to help you all prioritize your time, I'm going to suggest when you look at the required readings list, read the article that's listed first. Well, read that one first. This article actually focuses on the how-to behind this first assignment, which is to create a process flow diagram. And I think once you read that article, you'll get a really good understanding on what a process flow diagram is and how you can put one together. But I actually think after watching this video, you should have a really good idea of what a process flow diagram is and how you can put it together. Now, although the next 3 readings that are on the list will help you with your flow diagrams if you read them, they're actually invaluable, I think, for the second assignment, where you will actually have to build this graphical prototype of an iPhone app. And certainly make sure that you watch those 2 videos at the end because they are real how-to videos relating to the software that you'll need to complete that second assignment, the graphic prototype, where someone really walks you through in really good detail the steps on how to do that and makes you become familiar with the assets that you'll have available to you. So why don't we take a look at the actual working assignments that you'll have to hand in. Now, they both start with the same instructions. Go back to your mobile site analysis from Module 8 and look at the list of 4 to 6 content or technical improvements that you suggested. So for the first assignment in this module, I'm asking you to choose 2 of those improvements and create a process flow diagram for each. Again, the article entitled Drawing a Structured Flowchart is going to help you a great deal in this one, but let me show you the work that I completed on this assignment because I think it might be a help as well. Now I should tell you off the top that I used Keynote to create all of the assignments in this module. For those of you that don't know, Keynote is basically Apple's version of PowerPoint. So for the process flow diagram assignment, I chose 2 of my suggestions from my analysis of the Amherst College website. So again, in Module 8, my mobile analysis was based on the mobile experience for Amherst College. So I provided 2 suggestions. The first was to allow users to play all of the audio directly from the site. Because basically what was happening is that the Amherst mobile experience was providing a very inconsistent method for users when they wanted to listen to audio. Each audio asset had only one link associated with it, and you didn't know if selecting that link was going to start playing the audio right on the page or whether it would start a download that would then open as an audio file in iTunes. It was really asset by asset, and there was no way that you could tell as a user. So let me go to my process flow diagram for this improvement. So now you'll notice that I use the same shapes that are suggested in the Drawing a Structured Flowchart article. So what that means is my start and end actions are in an oval. Then the rectangle is used for individual tasks or actions, and decisions are indicated here with the diamond. So let's walk through this. And I think the one thought I want to put forth right now is that these diagrams really are much more simple than you may think they are. So just don't overcomplicate this assignment. And I think as we walk through this one and the next one, you'll see that. One other point on shapes is the arrows. Arrows move in the direction that the user is actually going through the site, which may be evident to all of you since this is where you start. You would obviously go to something next. So here we go. The user starts. The first action that they have to take is they have to navigate to the audio page of the mobile experience. The second action is they have to select the individual audio event that they want to listen to, which then brings us to the first decision that the user must make. And this question, or this decision they must make, is, do I want to listen to this now, or do I want to download this and listen to it later? That is clearly a major life decision for anyone using the Amherst website. And as you can see, depending on what they choose, there is a unique and independent action for each. If you choose that you want to listen to it now, the action that you then arrive at is to play the embedded audio file right there on your mobile screen. However, if you choose to download it for later, this brings you to the action of storing that asset in the podcast directory, which you can then find later and listen to it. Each action then leads into the end, because after that you are then done. So that is the first process flow diagram. And again, the suggestion here, the recommendation I made, was to standardize audio distribution on the mobile website. And this is how I envision that would take place. Now again, in my recommendation, my thought is that if Amherst put this process flow diagram, if they translated this onto their mobile site, the result would be a better end user experience. And that is really the point of this assignment. The second flow diagram that I created was based on the suggestion pretty much to just overhaul their entire mobile homepage. What happened when I went to the mobile homepage for Amherst, and again, this may not be the case now, but it was when I went through this assignment, is the mobile homepage was just a mess. It had so many links on it that were hard to see and hard to find. There was no hierarchy established, so you basically didn't know what you were supposed to do when you got to the site. So my suggestion was to consolidate that homepage to present between 10 and 14 links. For the purposes of this assignment, I only chose 6 links because it's just not necessary to show all of them. So again, I think this diagram is very simple and straightforward. So here we go. Let's start it up again. As you can see, the user starts. Their first action is to choose the section that they want to open. They then have these 6 choices. So actually, this choose section can be depicted as a rectangle or as a diamond. It really is an action or a decision. Either of those is correct depending on how you look at it. Once you make that decision, the next action will deliver you to that specific section, and then you go to the end. Again, very simple and straightforward. So the translation here is, my recommendation was that they needed to streamline the home page so that when the user got to the home page, they had a minimal amount of choices to get to the section that they wanted to. So this is how I depicted it on the as a process flow diagram. So the next step we're now going to take here is we're going to move to the prototype that I created. And as you'll see, the prototype that I created is going to be for this recommendation, to standardize audio distribution across Amherst site. So let's take a look at that assignment. Okay, so let's look at the second assignment, which is the design prototype for the app. And as I said, I created all of these assignments in Keynote. So here you can see the Keynote application. And so basically what I did is use all the assets that are provided in the mock app software. There's, of course, the link to download all of the assets from mock app in this week's module. So I just downloaded them, and even though they're rendered to you as PowerPoint files, I just opened them up in Keynote and was able to put together all of this using the assets provided to me. So let's go into presentation mode, because you'll see I actually made this a clickable or a live design prototype. So now again, this is going to map directly to the process flow diagram. So you remember the first action that we had to take was to get to the audio page. So by clicking on this link, I will go to the audio page, which is what I am now at. As you can see, audio here is highlighted, so this is the audio page. The second action was to choose the individual asset that I wanted to, or the individual audio file that I wanted to listen to. So I will select that. which delivers me to the individual asset that I want to listen to. And then this brings me to my first decision, as you remember. Download for later or listen now. So for the purposes of this prototype, I chose listen now. And as you might remember from the flow diagram, making that decision was going to lead to the task of listening to the file right on the page, which is what this did here with the play bar and the forward and reverse. Now let's just take a quick look back at the flow diagram so we can see again, just remind you how they work together. You remember we start, we navigate to the audio page, which was that button I clicked on the bottom. Then select the audio event. You remember I chose the top one in the list of 5, which brought me to that individual asset page. I then had to make the decision where I chose to listen to it now, and by doing that it opened up that nice little embedded player on the page, and that was the end of my experience with this prototype. So again, I don't think especially the flow diagram is entirely complicated. Don't overthink it. But I'm hoping that after watching this video, this helped demonstrate why we're doing the work in this module the way that we are in 2 stages. Because if your process diagram is off, you're going to have a real tough time building a prototype that would actually function in the real world. So I want to make sure that I give you the feedback that you might need on the flow diagram before you move to the prototype. And one other administrative note here, when we're talking about feedback that I want to drop in, I want to stop short of saying this is a guarantee, but please know that I have every intention of providing you all of your grades and feedback for assignments through Module 8 by the end of this weekend. That way you'll have about 3 weeks to resubmit any of the assignments that you wish if you want to try to improve your grade. And I truly do apologize for being a bit behind on the grading, but I'm going to try to catch up on that this week. So that covers us for Module 9. As usual, I will be available on Thursday night from 9 to 10 on Skype to answer any questions. Email me any other time if you need some guidance or insight on the first part of the assignment. And we're going to look to have another Adobe Live Connect session mid to late next week to focus on final projects. So I'm going to circulate some dates in the next day or 2, and then we'll choose the one that's most popular. So that's it for this week. Again, please remember the submit dates for the assignments this week, and that they run a little differently than we've been used to in the past. Take care.